Since September 2008, we've had a personal health budget from Blackburn with Darwen PCT, which amounts to 161 hours a week, which is quite a substantial package. Since September, we have recruited our own staff and begun to manage them on a day-to-day basis. We did actually bring some staff with us who were already working with Mitchell, and during sort of September, October, we also recruited some new staff, including a nurse facilitator, which was one of the requirements of the PCT to cover clinical governance. Well, we have 12 staff in all, 8 probably who are permanent, I would have to count, including the nurse facilitator and some staff who have been long-standing. We've used them with our direct payments for some years, probably about 5 or 6 years, and they just work on a voluntary basis. So in terms of the rota each month, we fill the shifts with the permanent staff who have obviously a commitment to a certain number of hours, so that's filled in. And then we contact, by text, it all works very successfully by text, we contact other people who perhaps do 1 or 2 shifts. They offer what they're available for, and then we share them out basically and fill in the gaps. We advertised for our new staff in the local newspaper. We paid for an advert, and we also used a local free newspaper which was particularly successful. We placed 2 adverts. The first wasn't particularly successful, the second was very successful, but having said that, we were looking for very specific qualities in the people we wanted to recruit. So it wasn't the level of response, it was more the fact that, as I say, we had a very clear idea of who we wanted to employ. Surprisingly, we weren't looking for experience or qualifications. What we were looking for were very much the individual's personal qualities, because it's my belief that if somebody has the right qualities, then you can go on to train them. But somebody might have vast experience in the field of supporting people, but if they don't have the right qualities to support that individual, then it's not going to be successful. So what we were looking for was for people who have good attention to detail, good interpersonal skills, good intuition, because a lot of supporting Mitchell is about using your intuition and being very sensitive and picking up on very subtle communication skills sort of on his part, sensitivity and an awareness of, even if people can't fully understand what it's like to be in our position, people perhaps who have empathy and who were willing to work, as part of a very small and a very personal team. We have had experience of staff who've had substantial experience within the social care world, and sometimes it can be hard to get across, perhaps when you're recruiting somebody, that although the values and a lot of the things that happen during the day will be familiar to them, there's also a very strong nursing element, that a lot of the tasks, if you will, that people are required to do actually cross over very much into the sort of role that a nurse would undertake. So it's a case of staff understanding and respecting the fact that the support that Mitchell requires, and it's no exaggeration to say that on occasions it's sort of life or death stuff, so it's really important that people take that on board, and that isn't always easy for people perhaps who've had a vast amount of experience, who think that they know what they're doing, and we have had experience where somebody found it very difficult to leave all that experience behind and actually acknowledge that part of what they needed to do was leave it behind and almost start from scratch, and just focus on Mitchell as a person, and the new skills really that they were needing to develop.